Okay, we're here with Flo and Scott Tucker. Scott Tucker's author of the Reverse Mortgages and What You Need to Know from Z to A. I love that title, man. We're just here hanging out after the Reverse Mortgage Workshop here in the Chicagoland area. And Flo has got an interesting story here of some of the misconceptions that she had when she was looking at this type of financial strategy, but at the same time too gracious enough and happy that she met with Scott and how he helped her arrange her financial affairs so she has more financial clarity and, at the most part, confidence going forward. So, Flo, what was your experience before you had met Scott?
Well, I kind of felt it sounded pretty good, but as far as someone from California being far away, it just didn't seem too good an idea for me.
The other guy.
Then there was another guy.
Because I'm here in Chicago.
Is right.
And he seemed to be vague when he talked to me and kind of distant. But then, when I went to Monteceros, I got this invitation, and I listened to him, and he was so thorough.
That was me.
Scott.
Yeah. This gentleman to my right. I said, well, he knows so much about this. I'm on the right foot by going along with him.
Right.
Why waste any more time? I'm interested. This is what I have to do. And
Very good.
I'm not sorry in the least bit. It makes like I'm making sense and using my head and planning for the future.
There's a lot of misconceptions about reverse mortgages. Oh, I'll lose the equity in my house forever. I'm going to die with this huge debt. Just a lot of nasty misconceptions out there. And Scott here, he's really not only been on a radio show to help dispel some of those myths, but he does a lot of these workshops here in the Chicagoland area to help educate the homeowner on what to do with their finances. Now, you were just sharing with me a circumstance that you were in. A lot of relatives had passed away in the last 5 years.
Right.
And where were you in terms of financial state? Did you have a lot of money to fall back on?
No, I didn't. I had a small CD, so to speak. And when my mother and father passed away, I wasn't able to move from one place to another due to a lawsuit between my sister and brother over my mother's will. So I lost a lot of money during that time to buy a condo. So I thought, this was a sensible thing. You have to take a risk in life. If you don't, you're not going to get anywhere.
Very good. Now, Scott, you're educating people. You wrote a book. You've been on multiple media outlets educating people. Now, what's the biggest misconception that you see when you're educating people about reverse mortgages and its importance, especially now in a recessionary time where people lost value of their property, lost value in their retirement account? What's the biggest objection you get?
Probably the biggest misconception that I hear is I don't want the bank to own my house.
There you go.
A lot of people think that the bank is going to own their house if they get a reverse mortgage, and that's just not the case. You still own your property, and you can still leave it to your kids through your will when you pass.
Absolutely. Now, Flo, are you glad you met Scott?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, from what I understand, there was a great album that Scott keeps you in. What was he able to do for you on a monthly basis?
Well, he came and visited me in my house, and we had conversations about our past, and we hit it off. We got to be friends, and I liked what he said, and I thought, no, this is what I'm going to try, and whatever will be.
Now, from a financial standpoint, what has that been able to benefit you in terms of income?
Well, if I get the amount of money I'm going to get every month, I don't know, should I mention the amount or
Sure.
not? All right, $519. Now, that can help me a great deal. If I'm 76, I'll be 77 in September. How long am I going to live? A lot of my relatives die in their 80s, 82, 83. If I live to be 90,
And that $519 that you get every month is FHA insured. No matter if you live to be 120, you can still get the checks. And it's also easy on your kids that they don't have to come out of their pockets for $500 some bucks a month. And you have a pretty reasonably priced condo. If you had a more expensive home, it would be even more money. So it's not unusual for me to get people $1,500, $2,000 a month tax free, and it won't interfere with your Social Security, will not interfere with pensions, Medicare. it won't interfere with your Medicaid so long as I do it properly. Just let me know you get Medicaid, or Flo, you get Meals on Wheels.
Right.
And so you just say, well, I get Meals on Wheels, and we make sure we set it up properly so it doesn't interfere with anything.
So that's wonderful. Also, it helps the country if I go out and buy something I need, rather now, I won't buy certain things. Or I might not even hire the electrician to come because I might be leery and worried and afraid. But now I can have these people come and fix up that apartment even better than it is now.
Quality of life is what we're looking for, because you have two choices. You can take your plan, take control and ownership of your own financial future, or you can take the government plan. And Flo decided to take control of her financial future and take control using Scott to help educate her and implement a reverse mortgage in her financial situation. Now, Flo, what would you share, what would you like to say to many people who may be your age, maybe or early into retirement? What would you like to say to them in terms of how working together with Scott or using a reverse mortgage can really benefit them, and what should they do?
Well, I think they should seek the help of Scott.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of elderly people are not, they cannot relax because today, you know, in this day and age, because of the economy, they don't think it's going to be like someone said on TV, in a year things are going to be back the way it used to be. They don't believe it's going to be such a short time. And many people are very insecure, and they need to at least fall back on something or somebody, because if I'm 76, how do I know that tomorrow might be my last day on the planet Earth? I don't know. It's one thing if you're 20 or 30 or 40, but when you get to be my age and I look at myself, how I aged, you know, I have to do something, take the risk. We never know from one day to the next what might happen.
Do you feel better with the FHA insurance, that it's not so risky a thing to do?
Absolutely. It certainly makes you feel a lot better.
Very good. Well, there you go. Education is a key, and at the same time, doing something with education and knowledge, because, you know, the old mantra, right, Scott, is knowledge is power. We don't think that way. I think applied knowledge, doing something about it, is power, because Flo could just been sitting there in a workshop and do nothing, get educated all she wants, eat all the food she wants, right, at these workshops. But unless she does something about it, take action, take control, she won't be in the financial position she is today. So we appreciate you, Flo.
I thank you so much. You're a very charming gentleman.
You got it. Thank you so much, Flo.
And a wonderful
Thank you.
afternoon.
Yes.
Thank you, Flo.
All right. There you go. There you go. Thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in.